IV through the intravenous. We have got an oral drug administration. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to do IM, intramuscular drug administration. The site of drug administration for IM, we have got 3 parts, one at the deltoid region, at the thigh, and then at the back, gluteal one. We're going to do the deltoid one. First of all, you have to greet the patient, explain the procedure to the patient. For the purpose of time, I want to summarize. So, to do the drug administration at the deltoid region, help me here. First, you clean the site. This is for purpose of preventing infections. Then, here, the scapula, we call it a acromion process. From this place, you can choose like 2 fingers from the acromion process and make a triangular one. Then at the center of the triangle is where the site of injections are done. Here in these cases, you pinch the skin at an angle of 90 degrees. That's why you inject. You aspirate. Intramuscular, you don't want the blood flow to come in. So you expect that there is no blood flow here, and then you inject at an angle of 90 degrees. You pinch so that it will not bleed. Very good. Thank you.
Target and Mandera, Kmtc. That's very nice. And I will be taking you through catheterization. My name is Mahdi Mohammed Ibrahim. I'm a lecturer nurse. And with me are my students. On my left is Kmtc, who will be helping me in documentation. And on my right is Salma Ali, who will be helping me in terms of acquiring some of the equipment that I will use. Before you is a patient that have problem with bladder incontinence, maybe as a result of condition or health-related condition, or even growth within the roots that the urine pass, they may get obstructions, and this will lead to blood accumulation in the bladder. So when a patient develops such conditions, we have a procedure for them, and that procedure is catheterization. So we have the equipment here. We are avoiding it as a result of, the exposure of private part to so many people. So as a result of privacy, we covered it. But the bladder is in situ. It is in place, which we have done it properly. So this one is a blood bag urine. Okay. We will accumulate the amount of fluid that will come from the bladder, and we have the ranges here. It will help us in terms of knowing how many fluids that we got from this patient. And that is how the procedure is, Your Excellency.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I appreciate it. We have the third presentation. The third presentation here. Yeah.
One more.
Yeah. They will be talking more about.
Very good. Very good.
Your Excellency, welcome to Kmtc Mandera. I'm Abdul Fattah Adan, lecturer clinical medicine, and these are my students. This is Fahad, and this is Ruida. So today I'm pleased to present on respiratory examination. The respiratory system basically is a breathing system. So at first we have to take consent from the patient. From there, now we have to screen the patient for the purpose of privacy and so on. Then we start with something called inspection, where we inspect the patient as a whole and the chest as a whole. So on the nose, we check something called nasal flaring, which is the widening of the nostrils in case of increased breathing. Then we check for cyanosis. Cyanosis is basically the bluish coloration due to low oxygen and so on. We come to the chest. So the chest, we check how it is moving, chest movement. We check for any deformity. We check for any scars, whether it is surgical or whether it is therapeutic marks and so on. So from inspection, we go to something called palpation. Palpation is where we touch the patient now. So how we, on palpation now, what are we checking when we are doing palpation? Number one, we are checking for tenderness. Tenderness is basically pain. We just elicit pain, whether the patient is feeling any pain on his chest, and so on. Then we go to something called chest expansion. We tell the patient to breathe in and out to see that the level of chest expansion. Then we go to the trachea. Sometimes in case of pneumothorax, that is increased air in the lung, we have trachea deviates. So we see whether the trachea is centrally located or it is deviated to the sides. So after palpation, now we go to percussion. Percussion is where now we percuss on the intercostal spaces. The intercostal spaces basically is the space between the ribs. So we check, we compare both sides. So we look for something called resonance. So the normal one is resonance. Then if there is increased air in the lungs, we have hyperresonance. It will be increased. So if it is actually low, we sometimes find it is dull to percussion. So that is dullness in case of maybe fluid in the lungs, and also in case of any masses or tumor in the lung. From percussion, now we go to auscultation. Auscultation is where we use this stethoscope. So we normally use this stethoscope. When we are using the stethoscope also, we use the diaphragm of the stethoscope. Again, we place this one, the place where we did the percussion, that is still the intercostal spaces. So when we are doing this one, we check for bilateral air entry. We check for if both lungs are receiving air entry bilaterally. Then from there we go to the breath sounds, whether it is normal or abnormal. The normal breath sounds is vesicular breath sounds. The abnormal breath sounds is bronchial breath sounds. From there again we go to check for added sounds, which are like wheeze in case of asthma. Then there is something called crepitations and crackle in case of pneumonia. So that is all about. And thank you.
That's a very good lesson. We are ready for the exam. Asante sana.
best way to develop health human resource is to make sure that we have sufficient institutions for training of Kenyans in the medical field, our health workers in different categories, and I am very proud of what Kmtc is doing in Kenya. And because of the centrality of human resource development in the delivery of health, we are going to do whatever it takes to improve the facilities that are there in this institution. I have been briefed by the principal here and by the leaders here that maybe we need an additional facility for hostels for the students, right? Maybe at the hospital or maybe here. We're going to do consultations with the management of the school. Madam PS is here. She will spearhead that exercise so that we can provide additional hostel facilities for students in Mandera Kmtc. Sawa sawa. She will work with my peers responsible for housing, and we will make sure that we will do that. I'm very happy also that we have a bus that is now going to help you to commute between here and the hospital for now. If there will be need for an extra bus, we are going to provide so that we can support this institution. I want you as students in the health space, we not only have opportunities for you to work for us in Kenya, but also know that you have opportunities to work globally. We have made adequate arrangements so that if you want to work anywhere in the world, the education you are acquiring in Mandera Kmtc is able to take you anywhere in the world because it is world class. Mnanielewa? It is world class education. The same way you will train here and graduate from here and work in our hospitals, you are also capable of working in any other health facility in the world. And we are providing that training. We have been discussing with the management of Kmtc. We know what we need to do to be able to improve on the teacher-student ratio in our Kmtc, to be able to have additional equipment for proper training in our Kmtcs, and it is my intention and plan to make sure that we support all our Kmtcs. Tumeelewana? So mimi nimefurahi sana kufika Mandera. Many of you who come from different parts of the country, we've also been discussing with leaders how we are going to develop the road from Isiolo all the way to Mandera to make sure that it is motorable, it is in good condition so that we can connect this part of Kenya to the rest of Kenya. I also know that there are issues of internet connectivity. We have discussed. There are issues of water. We have discussed and we have inspected the water facilities here. I have given instructions to the contractor and to the ministry that we must complete the Mandera water and sewerage plant before December this year, so that you can have enough water. Tumeelewana? So otherwise, asanteni sana. You know everybody here, si ndio? Mnajua Deputy President wa Kenya? Anaitwa nani? Professor Kindiki yuko hapa. Sawa sawa. And then you have you have PS Mudhoni, you know her. He's a PS for mambo ya public health and professional training. We have the governor. Simnajua governor wetu wa Mandera? Simnajua senator wetu wa Mandera? Simnajua Aden Duale waziri? Simnajua Mohamud Ali governor wa kutoka Marsabit? Najua mjumbe ya area huyu mungwana? Bwana Hussein. Anaitwa nani? Waitan. Huyu mungwana. Na wabunge wengine wengi, na sisi wote ni team moja. Tuko na PS Omolo hapa, ambaye ni PS wa Interior. Tuko na PS wa Youth Affairs, Bwana Ismail. Tuko na Adan Mohamed, mnamjua anafanya kazi kwa ofisi yangu. na tuko na huyu principal CEO wa Kmtc wa Kenya, na tuko na chairman, na sisi wote ni timu moja. Sawa sawa. Na PS Mweke pia yuko hapa wa livestock. So na Mumat yuko area. Na Haji huyo mbunge wetu. Na hawa viongozi wengine. Kwa sababu hiyo, wewe wapi principal ya shule? Principal, mimi nitakutafutia $500,000 upatie hawa watu lunch leo. Ndio? Haya, sawa sawa. Nyinyi mtasoma na bidii kweli? Mtasoma na bidii? Kweli? I love you guys. My very best wishes.
Your Excellency.